worry about. He'll be there. So DeAndre Hopkins is the same way. He'll be there. But now this running back situation, you got Miller and Dante Foreman. And Lamar Miller, you're just wondering, it seems like you think Lamar is going to just completely take the reins and guys end up sitting on the sideline watching the game majority of the time. But it doesn't seem like that has happened for the Texans. So I would not be surprised if Dante Foreman early into the season might have some success and then they start playing him and running a two-back system, if you will, instead of just Lamar being the primary carrier. Now, that might be motivation for Lamar, and he take it back and whatever, but at this point, I think it's going to be a running back by committee. They're going to have guys like Kiki Kuti and Will Fuller, their deep threat Will Fuller, and then, like I said, DeAndre Hopkins running around. And can they have some type of resemblance of tight end play? If they can do that, then the Texans are going to be a big problem for the division and just for the rest of the NFL. So I will put them at 11 wins. So they'll go 11-5. And that leads us to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts you would say the Colts have done this the right way, where they had a problem in Andrew Luck staying healthy. Part of that was they weren't protecting him. And part of that was Andrew wouldn't throw the ball away, and he was taking unnecessary hits. So I think he learned his lesson, but also the Colts have learned their lessons and got drafted guys to protect him. But they have picked up some guys in free agency, and they've done pretty good in findings of guys on the defensive side of the ball, too. And, people like Darius Leonard, who, I mean, this guy's talking about getting 200 tackles in a season. So that him and Julio talking about he may get 3,000 yards, but you got highly motivated, players. Let's just say that. And they have a nice and growing defense. Now, one of the things that I did like that the Colts did, and this might be a surprise to a lot of people. Might be a surprise. They didn't draft, two things. They didn't draft a running back. So that tells me Marlon Mack and, Nyheim Hines and their running back crew that they have, they feel, unless they knew Melvin Gordon was coming there or something like that, they feel that they have exactly what they need and a nice nucleus for their running back situation. But the other thing that I think will probably be a surprise, remember how Eric Ebron, he left the Detroit Lions and then he went to Indianapolis and caught like 14 touchdowns, and people were like, well, maybe it was because of the quarterback and all that stuff. It could be the same thing for this guy in Devin Funchess. He is a big, humongous wide receiver. I think he's 6'5", 6'4", out of Michigan. But he played with Cam, and playing with Cam is different than playing because you're not playing with the traditional run quarterback. Cam is a unique quarterback. And he'll never be duplicated. You'll never see anybody like him again. So it's different playing with somebody like that. I think that him going to Indianapolis, that's going to put him probably more in a position to utilize what he does better. And that using your body, using that big body, being a red zone threat, and then working, the middle of the field and then finding, the mismatch that you have. Cam wouldn't necessarily find all that all the time. So Andrew Luck is going to find that. Then also, he didn't have the benefit of having someone opposite of him like a T.Y. Hilton. So he is going, and remember, Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle is going to be there as well. So it won't be just the attention on him. He won't be commanding any double teams. He didn't get it in Carolina anyway. But I think the offense, I think the quarterback, and I just think a new setting. I think Devin Funchess is going to be a big surprise to a lot of people coming up this season. So the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going to say they go back and they get 12 wins in this division. So all the teams will play each other very, very hard, and they'll. I think most of them will be close games. I don't think in this division no one's really going to blow anyone out. There's not going to be a 21-point win or anything like that. If anything, it's going to be 10 points or less during these division. These wins are going to come tough for a lot of teams in the AFC South, and just for other teams that are playing the AFC South. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is another division talk in the AFC South. So next show, we're going to get into, let's see. We already did the AFC East. We did NFC East and AFC South. So we're going to touch base on the NFC South and the AFC West. So we'll get into that on the next episode. You don't want to miss out on that. And I didn't say this when I came back from the break as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on Saturdays, the Wait a Minute Show is also on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on thewaitaminuteshow.com. So make sure you catch that as well. So we got Wednesdays, but then we also got Saturdays that we do a show on thewaitaminuteshow.com. So make sure you follow that. We are at that moment now where I got to hand out a Big L award. Yep. The Big L award, the Big Loser award that we hand out to the person or thing or place or whatever it is that's doing some loserous things. And just sometimes you just do it and it has to be addressed and it has to be handed out. It has happened to the best of us. Me, Lopan, anybody else. Probably everybody except my mama, because I know better than that. I don't want to lose my life. She brought me in this world. She'll take me out. But everybody else is going to get a Big L award at some point in time. And at this point in time, we are handing out the Big L award. Not to a person, not to an animal, not to a place or anything like that. But I guess possibly you could say it's a thing. And that thing is an app. What app might it be? That would be the Face app. Yeah, this Face app thing has gotten crazy. Now, the rumors about Russia taking people pictures and having them for themselves and all that stuff, we're going to set that to the side. If that's going on, that's just crazy. But what's really crazy is this Face app. If you haven't seen it, hopefully you don't. But basically, you can take your picture and take a picture of yourself or a picture that you have taken, and it will show you 30 to 40 years later as an old person. Now, I know you're thinking, Jelani, why would you give an app a Big L award? What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is because so many people in this world does everything they can do to not be old, whether it's working out, putting on the makeup, which is the cake mix, aka Betty Crocker, which I hate that people be putting on. You're putting on these belts or whatever to pull in your stomach to make it look like you ain't got a gut, and then you're pushing up your bra, and then the guys are, putting in weaves in their head and all this stuff. People are out there day in and day out trying to make themselves look younger, and you gonna go and put your face in a Face app just so you can see what you would look like. Oh, here's an idea then. Stop working out. Stop putting weaves in your head. Stop putting the Betty Crocker on. And then you don't even have to worry about it. You can just look at yourself and say, oh, that's what I look like. Oh, you're wasting your time. You're wasting other people's time. And don't nobody care, especially me and Lopan, what you look like. Oh, man. I mean, you stick to trying to be young. If you're going to be young, stick to try to be young. If you're going to be old, be old. Just like your mama told you, you're going to be in or out. You stay in or you stay out. So you got to pick one. You got to be young or you got to be old. And that's it. So for the people, whoever made the Face app, and they put up this Face app challenge, you got to take this big L.
See? Another loser.
Indeed as well, Lopan. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another big L. Hey, look. Are you going to be young or you going to be old? Pick one. Don't be posting what you look like old. People using it for evil. Out there with their side chick, using the app, talking about they out there with their grandma. Goodness. I don't got that problem, man. I look 15 years old, and I'm going to stay looking 15 years old as long as I can. I ain't trying to look old. I don't want to know what I look like old, okay? I'm sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is another Wait a Minute show in the books. Again, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget, go follow the show on there, thewaitaminuteshow.com. We do another one. Me and Lopan, like we always do. And I want to thank people that was listening in the background. And I also want to thank the listeners that was in the Wait a Minute Show chat room. Side note, let me read something. Mo Cheese, real quick. He said Jelani loaded a pic of him at 12. Nah, bruh. That wasn't me at 12. That's at me right now, bruh. That's me right now, bruh. I just got it like that. That's all I'm saying. Mocha Bella, thank you for joining. Appreciate you for joining in. My man Mo Cheese, we always be going at it, but I appreciate you for joining in. Who else we got out there? BS3, my man Ben. I see you out there, big dog. Appreciate you for joining in. Boosa, your red Washington football team, I almost said it. Your Washington football team is going to go 6-10, but I appreciate you for joining in. My man, Kevin Gray, I see you out there, big dog. Appreciate you for joining in. DJ Knox. Don't forget, my man DJ Knox with X-Part Radio Network. He got a DJ mix he always do, so follow him. Said Galloway, I see you out there, West, and my man Melvin. So, ladies and gentlemen, finish the rest of your weekend, man. And just be positive. Just be positive. And you can't be about it if you're not in it. You cannot be about it if you're not in it. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, we're going to holler at y'all later. And two things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at you later. Lopan, let's go.